I don't know. What are we doing out here? Nobody knows. Somebody got it. Somebody got to know what to do. Somebody got it. I kind of know what I'm doing. This isn't a typical video. Today, we're in class. School's in session. Let's go. So you saw from the title, this is not going to be about a particular fragrance, but how to apply fragrance properly. Well, at least so you can get the best results from your fragrance. I have a few suggestions and a couple of tips. Let's get into it. As always, before we get into everything, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and hit this too. All right, hit that one. Yeah, go ahead and hit that. All right, my guy. Now, I'm keenly aware you could be anywhere on the net, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Perfect. So let's go ahead and get this whole perfume cologne thing out of the way. Looking on makeup.com, which I didn't know was a website, but I guess that kind of makes sense, you know. But anyways, let's go over the difference between the colognes and perfumes, okay? Now, first, the idea is that colognes are more masculine, perfumes are more feminine. It's really more about the formulation, and neither one of those terms have anything to do with the formulation. This is a very American thing also, by the way. Quote, in places such as France and throughout Europe, this is not the perception. There's an understanding that cologne refers to an olfactive style. All colognes are perfumes. Colognes also being an olfactive style, they're transparent, fresh, and also very citrusy. When a perfume is referred to as eau de cologne, it means it's a very light in its concentration. If you're like me, when we think of cologne, think of fresh scents, really kind of musky, woody, not musty, but musky, woody fragrances. You just have a lot of that, you know what I mean? Now, another way to differentiate between the two concentration is the oils and the alcohol it contains. According to Matthew Malayo, fragrance expert and founder of Malayo New York, perfume, including parfums and eau de parfum, contains between 15 and 30% of fragrance oils. Colognes, including eau de colognes and eau de toilette, EDTs, contain anywhere from 2 to 15%, so not as much. The concentration will affect the scent's tenacity, which is how long the scent will last on your body. Choosing the right concentration is essential when determining your ideal scent. We know this already, or at least I hope some of you do. So with that being said, there are some different concentrations out there which you probably have heard me mention, or if you saw it on the bottle yourself. First up, we have the lowest concentration of perfume oils. Those are going to be your body sprays, something like Axe. Yeah, I know a lot of y'all know that one. Your Victoria's Secret, your something another you got from Target, or what's that one I used to wear? Bod Man. Boy. Oh my God, it smelled good. It smelled good back then. All right. Now, anyways, those are going to be your body sprays. They're lighter, softer, and less concentrated than perfumes, offering a pleasant overall kind of a scent. You know how you can spray a lot of it and it go crazy. Number 2, we have Eau Fraiche. This fragrance has a concentration up to 3% perfume oil. It lasts for up to 2 hours. TJ Maxx or Marshalls or something like that. One of those rack stores. See one of those random off-brand fragrances you never heard of before. You'll probably never see again. Those are going to be some of those. Number 3. Your eau de toilette, or EDT, as most people know this as. This fragrance has a concentration around 6 to 12% perfume oil, giving it a lighter scent, but a little bit higher, a little bit nicer, obviously, than the Eau Fraiche. Number 4, eau de parfum. Eau de parfum. Okay, now we're cooking here. If you own a few fragrances, I can bet most of your fragrances fall into this category of eau de parfums or EDP. Now, this fragrance has a concentration around 12 to 18% perfume oil, which gives us a stronger scent than the eau de toilette. Number 5, extrait de parfum. Now, also known as pure perfume or parfum. This is the most concentrated fragrance, which has a concentration around 20 to 40%. This makes it more potent and longer lasting than the eau de parfum as well. Now, as you can tell, aside from pure perfume oil, This is going to last the longest, have the strongest, most robust presence. I never used the word robust before in my life, but hey, fits right here. We've laid a little groundwork here. Now let's talk about a couple items that get tossed around a lot when describing the fragrance. The first is projection. Projection is how far a perfume's scent radiates from the skin into the air. It's often measured when the wearer is standing still. Also to note, projection changes over time. A projection is strongest when it first opens up, then it kind of decreases as it kind of fades off your skin. Also, the chemical composition of a perfume's ingredients affects its projection. For example, citrus and aldehydes create scents that project strongly, diffuse quickly. Kind of some of those lighter spring fragrances. They don't tend to last as long. Now, while musk and woodier fragrances are more enduring, but less projecting. They don't project as far. Like your heavier scents, your denser scents. They have that really strong smell, really strong scent bubble, but they don't project pretty far. The next term you may have heard is sillage. Now, sillage, pronounced sillage, is a French word for the wake of a ship in the water. In the perfume world, it refers to the scent trail that a perfume leaves behind as it evaporates. Heavier scents will have a more noticeable sillage, while lighter scents will have less. So unlike projection, this term is more about the scent that you leave as you walk through a room. For me, this is one of the most important parts of a fragrance. Picture this, you're walking past and you get those head turns like, yeah, goodness gracious, they get a whiff and they're like, who is that? He smells good. Okay, really good. Now that we got that locked in, let's talk about how to apply fragrance. I know this seems like the obvious thing. Just spray it on. Nah, sir. Nah. Because I already know some of these routines, all right? I used to do some of them. Let's go over some that may hit a little bit, but mostly misses. Number one, the misty jump through. This is when you're spraying into the air and walking through, jumping through, skipping through. It seems mystical and magical almost. That ain't it, Chief, all right? It ain't it, okay? Number two, the one and done. My guy, that's not gonna do anything. Now, don't be stingy with your spray. Spray your spray. Give your fragrance a fighting chance, all right? On to number three. Now, this easily leads me into the next spray routine, the heavy-handed Harry, okay? You already know this guy. You got an auntie or something, you smell them coming a mile away. They come to Thanksgiving just loading up the room with shit, and you can't breathe, all right? You can't ride in the car with them unless you roll the window down. It's so much fragrance going on, you might end up smelling like that person. And we're talking about the 10 to 20 spray person. You're spraying and praying, okay? Even if it's a great fragrance, going to overwhelm, smiles turn upside down, everyone walks away, and you're alone. Again, with that being said, you want to fall somewhere in the middle, depending on the fragrance. You want to find that Goldilocks sweet spot. All right, sound a little nasty, but don't worry about it. Here's some good practices. First, let's talk about where to apply. On your body, there's areas that get a little bit warmer than others. These are usually some of the best places to apply. You can get a little of that heat and a little moisture. The first place that a lot of you are going to naturally apply is around the neck area, which is always a good go-to choice. You're in close proximity with a little sweet thing or a little something, she's gonna smell it there. It works. It works every time. The next spot I always see people spraying around is going to be on the wrist, somewhere around that forearm area as well, and it works. Let's talk about some of those not so obvious spots that work for me. I like to spray once or twice on the back of the neck. This is definitely going to help with the sillage as you're walking past. You're leaving a nice scent trail behind you. I also like to spray in the crooks of my elbow, right there, Again, hot spot, gets a lot of movement, as you're moving around throughout the day. And what that's going to do is constantly keep activating this scent, which should give you a little bit more projection as well. Now, if it's a little hot outside, let's say you have on shorts or something like that, just like with the crooks of your elbow, spray it right behind your knees, right on the back of your legs, right in a little bend, same. We can't forget about applying it to your clothing as well. This is always going to stretch the longevity out of your fragrance, get you a lot more wear out of that particular scent. I like to spray right around this collar area. Again, use a couple sprays around the back of the collar as well. Also, I typically spray fragrance on my clothes before I put them on. That way I can make sure I'm getting into kind of the middle of the fragrance. I'm getting exactly where I kind of want it to be. Again, for the sillage, get you a spray or two directly on the shirt. Trust me, it's gonna work. It's gonna be really great. Now, with that being said, let's talk about where not to spray. You want to avoid some sensitive areas. Now, fellas, don't spray your junk. Don't spray your pits. All right. It's probably even gonna burn a little bit, maybe even give you a rash, dry your skin out. These areas are not meant for chemicals with high alcohol contents, which that's what most fragrances are. No bueno. Okay. So let's just avoid those. I think, we've covered a lot. I think a lot of these things are going to help you guys out a little bit, get you a lot more wear out of your fragrance. Mileage may vary person for person. Everyone has different skin chemistry. Some fragrances work better than others, and some fragrances sometimes work better on others. Nonetheless, I'm confident you can find something out there that will suit you and have you out there smelling like $1,000,000. Go ahead and drop down in the comments. Let me know some of your experience, some of your spray routines yourself. I hope this helps all of you out. Definitely probably going to revisit this topic in the future, probably part 2. But in the meantime, I just want to thank you again for showing up to class today. Don't worry, ain't going to be no pop-up quiz or anything like that. If you got something out of this today, all right, go ahead and drop down in the comments. Go ahead and leave me an apple emoji down in there. That's going to really help me out, and I really appreciate you guys. Look, stay locked in. Check back for some new videos. They're coming soon. I got them going. Now, I'm going to leave you like I always do. Know thyself. Keep growing. Groom well. All right. See you in the next one, YouTube. Dooskies. Why not? I don't know. What are we doing out here?